Welcome, everybody, to yet another goddamn horror podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Ryan Danley, coming to you from a very early morning in Portland, Oregon. You got me early in the morning, guys. That's
I was gonna
a
say you sang that early in the morning. Good for
I
you.
know. Because I'm clearly still kind of asleep. Now, welcome to everybody to the show. We got a very exciting show today. We normally do a lot of prattle and banter at the beginning. We'll just shorten that up real quick. Jonas, how you doing?
Hello, I'm great.
Good,
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
of course, man.
Jonas and John, that's going to be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Graham, introduce our guest. Introduce our guest. Right.
All right. So I'm really excited about this one because this came from not just me scouring Tubi and then finding a movie and then reaching out to the director blindly. This happened because one of my clients' friends' cousins, I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but Asla sent a message to our guest and he got back to me and I'm so excited. It's Jean EVRENOL, director of Baskin, Housewife, Girl with No Mouth, Sayara, so much amazing movie. I didn't know I didn't know how deep it went after I had seen Sayara because that was the first Jean EVRENOL movie I had seen actually. And I went back and anyway, we're gonna get into this. I'm really excited. Jean, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a sunny Sunday afternoon here in Istanbul.
Istanbul, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of we get people from all over the world. Istanbul, this is a first. So thank you for bringing that to us and making
Turkish
time
horror.
to Turkish horror. Like it's amazing. I think that probably a lot of our listeners aren't really familiar with the Turkish horror scene. Do you want to give us a little rundown on how that looks? Like what kind of thing? What is what does the Turkish movie world look like?
Well, okay. First of all, to begin with, I think being Turkish in Europe, people have a good or bad. They have an association. They have an idea about what Turks are. But whenever I traveled to US, especially in LA and that part of the US, I was like, whenever I say I'm from Turkey, they looked at me as if I'm like from wherever, like, so it's kind of like it's really interesting that Ottoman Empire didn't have much cultural interaction with British Empire and US.
Sure.
So like mainly the whole art scene and the literature and everything is very influenced by, French, German, and Russian literature here. So I grew up in an American high school in Istanbul, and I grew up with like anything from Great Gatsby to Lord of the Flies and all the American classics, English, British classics. So after I became a filmmaker, I kind of felt very alone because in Turkey there's a huge separation between genre people and bohemian artistic cinema people. It's like a big separation, like, unfortunately. I think it's like that in many parts of the world, but a bit so much more in where I live. And since I was brought up with like all the trash culture and pop culture of US being dumped on us on private TV and VHS and everything, I really I grew up with like American wrestling. I grew up with Stephen King, Metallica, He-Man, Transformers, you name it. And then once I was in college, I discovered video nasties. And then I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And at the time, I was kind of like staying away from horror movies. As a kid, I was really afraid of horror films. And then there aren't any horror films in Turkey whatsoever at the time. And also, like, horror was very much associated with foreign and American horror mainly. Like King was big here. Like all the horror films are quite big here, but they're very, very associated with like horror with the US. Also, Italian has a lot of influence here, obviously. So, but Turkish horror was was a joke, you know. Turkish horror was, or Turkish
Sure.
sci-fi, Turkish horror. These were like jokes. So, um, and I kind of like looked, kind of like I was like away from horror, and only after studying art history, and my parents being both architects and everything, they love cinema, they love Fellini, Kubrick, but they didn't really think much of Toby Hooper, for instance.
Sure.
After like studying art, I was like going for the most taboo breaking, the most artistically extreme, the most like banned movies, and then I discovered Toby Hooper and George Romero and John Carpenter. Oh, these guys are political, you know, these guys are, you know, artistic. And then all the like big horror movies from James Whale's Frankenstein to Nightmare on Elm Street to, you know, Child's Play, I discovered after the age of 19, 20 with it from a different perspective. I mean, I knew what Chucky was, I knew what Freddy was, but I was very afraid, you know, like, and you grew up with stories, oh, there's this man with like knives in his fingers, but I never really watched them, you know, like, and I remember once I saw like Child's Play on TV, and that was a scene where the mother pulls up the doll and the batteries fall down, and I turned it off immediately. And I was like, I was thinking, man, it's fucking weird. But like, I always had a fascination with heavy metal or the most gory bits of Indiana Jones or James Bond, or especially the Timothy Dalton ones, the sadistic ones. So I was always fascinated with horrific stuff in arts and literature, but horror per se was kind of low art, and like it was like a bit too much for me. And then only after Video Nasties and all these like these transitional horror filmmakers like art and also horror, I kind of discovered, and then I became fascinated with it, and then I just embraced it, and I started watching more and more and more. And I'm a geek, obviously, a bit of a geek myself, so I was watching at least 2 3 movies, not 3 but at least 2 movies every day in my college years, and then at night I was partying and then during the day I was watching movies. So slowly by slowly I kind of like became like the only horror B movie grindhouse aficionado in my social area. And then I said, like, let me do like a short horror film. I just tried something. It was called The Chest, and I sent it to some international horror film festivals, and then it just caught up and the ball got rolling. So that's kind of my story. Actually, you asked me about Turkish horror scene, but Turkish horror
No, it's good.
kind of like non-existent until
No.
the 2000s.
Until you came along.
Unfortunately, I'm not like I'm kind of like this cliche, more popular outside his country than his country kind of a person. Like,
Sure.
also like I have like many fans and followers in Istanbul and Turkey too, but mainly, you know, like it's really interesting. Like in Turkish, like after the year 2000, there are lots of trash horror films, like religious exploitation, more of religious exploitation, and like and they are big. They make lots of money. It's like a weird phenomenon. Like, why am I in this country? Who's like what outside Turkey? Like, I'm really proud to say I'm a horror filmmaker. But in Turkey, like when I say I'm a horror filmmaker, people either already know me or they look at me like, what the fuck? So it's you know, it's weird. It's really weird.
You know, I think it's good, and I think you know, actually putting you know, as prolific as you are, and as you know, I mean, and Baskin is a great film, and
Baskin is a classic, I think, in the horror community.
I think you kind of touch base on something though that is really interesting, which is that, you know, and you know, not to go off on politics or whatever, but you know, like. You know, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I have an old bit about how people talk about we need a White History Month, where we didn't learn anything about China and or Africa or Mexico in my classes, but I know what kind of shoes they wear in Holland, and you know, and like and I think you kind of speak to something, you know, the anglicized, you know, the heavy fingerprints of like the British Empire's like teaching, because we have such anglicized information that people don't really, I think when we speak of like Palestine and things like that, the Ottoman Empire gets brought up. But Turkey, you know, like growing up, like we didn't know anything about Turkey except that it was like the name of you know what I mean? Like my mother's Hungarian, so we would get like hungry and turkey, you know what I mean? And like, you know, that was like the conversation that was happening. And that is literally all we knew about. That is literally all I ever, like, as children, we knew about Turkey. And then if you start reading about the world, the Turkish and the Ottoman Empire is you know one of the creators of how the world operates now, and you know and so like it you know, and having almost zero influence here is pretty wild, you know, and it's one of the reasons I was excited to talk to you, because you know it is amazing to be from such a prolific place. I mean, as far as like as deciding in world order, good or bad, however you want to look at it, but like but it's so it is cool to have, you know, people breaking out from that, because I mean there is no doubt about that there's such a strong influence in other world things that you would believe that the art and the POV from somebody from there would be kind of crucial to the artistic landscape in and of itself. You know what I mean? And like, and how is that felt in Turkey? Like, I mean, you brought it up yourself, but like, is that felt like on the streets, like the sort of underappreciation or is it that because Turkey's still involved in a lot of, you know, a lot of like world politics they're you know, like a lot of the quote unquote great nations, do you feel like people there feel appreciated for what their offerings or?
No, I mean, are you asking specifically for Baskin and my work, or in general?
Just in general, you know what I mean? Because like, you know, because it's got to be hard, because like, you know, America and anglicized, we export a ton of art and culture, and it seems like other countries don't. And it's got to be interesting to be part of a bigger
Yeah.
influential country in the world, and not have those, you know, and still you're out here battling to get your product to us, which is unfortunate, because your product is great as have. I mean, we for as much as we export, like 90% of it I wish we didn't, you know what I mean, like, like, you know what I mean, like, because we do a lot of bullshit here that for some reason gets
Well,
We definitely do.
there's this like I think an interesting one-liner about Turkey is we have this very famous Cannes Film Festival winner, multiple time Palme d'Or winner, art house director called Nuri Bilge Ceylan, and you might also know him as Nuri Bilge Ceylan because of the C again.
Mhm.
And you know, with his film like Once Upon a Time in Anatolia or Winter Sleep, or like some of his other movies, like he's one of the most respected filmmakers at Cannes Film Festival, and he's the only one. He's an anomaly. He's the
Mhm.
only one from Turkish film scene which made it that big and that respected. I mean, Tarantino and everybody, like there's old filmmakers like kind of like adore him at some point. And when he won his most biggest prize on stage, he said, "I dedicate this award to my beautiful and lonely country." And that
Mhm.
became like a beautiful tagline, because like Turkey is lonely in that sense. Like
Sure.
we're kind of like after the fall of Ottoman Empire, the new Turkey was almost like you cut everything and then put something new there. So we kind of lost ties with our like Central Asian Turkish roots or Arabic roots, or you know, and you're not European really. You're not
Mhm.
really Asian. You're like really like in between. And Istanbul is the only bicontinental city in the world. You know, like it's both in
Right.
Asia and Europe, and it's very unique and interesting. But also, it's and just like anywhere else in the world, like we're very proud with our nationality, and especially in the last years with the rise of fascism everywhere in the world, we always have this like, oh, the world is against us kind of like
Mhm.
mentality,
Sure.
like the people in the street, like Turks against the world, kind of like, and they always like, I have these conversations with people like who've never been abroad Turkey, outside Turkey, and they keep saying like Turkey is the best place to live in the world, man. I'm telling you, they've never been outside Turkey. There's that, but there's also a very unique feeling of living in a city, in a country with a history of 6,000 years, if not
Sure.
more. So that does bring something like Napoleon famously said, like, if the world was one state, the capital would be Istanbul, and Istanbul being Constantinople before. So there's that huge culture here, but it's like been invaded many times. It's almost like been like civil war after civil war after civil war. Not really civil. They're not really civil wars, but kind of like, you know.
Sure.
So even today, it's still ongoing. Like, we're next door to Syria, Iran, Iraq, like Greece, Cyprus, like Armenia. How bad can it? How worse can it be?
Right, you are centered. Like, it is really truly amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and I really strongly suggest anybody who hasn't looked into Turkish history, because it's absolutely fascinating. And like I said, like, we're so anglicized that, you know, we learn Europe and we learn England, and like that's kind of it. But like but you know, we get a little bit of, you know, the importance of the Greeks, you know what I mean, and the importance of. But if anybody doesn't understand the importance of Turkey and how the world is shaped now, you really need to look it out. And also, some of the most amazing food in the world. I am amazing. So
Actually
yeah,
we have a place in New York. So there's an area of Brooklyn called Sheepshead Bay, which has like a big European culture down there, just different parts of the world. But one of the biggest parts actually down there is we have a place called Little Istanbul.
All
And
right.
it's got like a restaurant row of like a bunch of families that are from Turkey and stuff that have restaurants and stuff down there. And it legitimately is some of the best food in New York. And like New York is also very much like a melting pot as far as cultural stuff goes. So we have like, you know, cuisine from all over the world, but specifically that area is like super strong with the cuisine and with the culture. And that's something that's been kind of cool. And when you were talking about the stuff with horror in Turkey, I looked up just out of curiosity. I just looked up Turkish horror films just to see what the listing would show. And what's really funny is that the covers of all of the movies are way more extreme than the US movies. So like it is funny that this was just not really a thing for quite a long time. But then if you look at the list of movies that come out of Turkey that are from the 2000s, all the covers are fucked up. All of them are like actually like super scary and like
All
creepy.
like with AI kind of stuff, you know, like even before AI, they looked like they were made with AI. Like, they have like zero character design, zero
Mhm.
creature design. It's just like the same kind of weird face and makeup again and again and
It's
again.
just a
And
ghoul. Just a
yeah,
ghoul.
just jump scares. Nothing really like, you know. It's really sad. It's really sad. Depressing.
That's why the stuff that you make is so good. Like when I was telling you the thing about like people asking me about that thing in thing in the group, dude, Baskin is something that comes up a lot as a movie that is just wild. Like people love that movie, and that's a movie that comes up quite a bit. Um, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Like when you approached horror, like something like that, something like Baskin, just as an example is very out there, like in a great way. Like it's a super
Thank you.
wild, like insane, you know, just very, very. Um, I mean, I would call it an extreme movie, but you know, in its own way. How did you decide to approach horror that way?
Well, I mean, I didn't really set out to make a horror movie just for, like, you know, jump scares and, you know, to me, horror cinema is the epitome of protest art. Honestly, like,
Yes.
horror cinema is only respectable and interesting if it's anti-status quo, whatever that status is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I always wanted to make this horror film. I wanted to make this film, which starts out as a Turkish festival film, just like the great director Nuri Bilge Ceylan and many clones of his in Turkey, which are not bad at all. Turkish slow art house cinema is pretty cool, actually. So I wanted my film to start like a Turkish slow art house cinema, and then slowly and show these like four cups, because in Turkey the scariest thing isn't a ghoul, but the scariest thing is the cops if you're in the wrong side of the road. You know?
Yeah.
Here too.
And I want to portray the four cops, the five cops there as like not really bad guys, but just like ignorant, you know, ignorant like people, and as honest as I can, you know. So the more they talk about sexuality and stuff, the more they're talking about their like manhood and all that stuff, the more Turkish I think the film becomes, because that's really the core of all the chit chat on the street. You know, the chit chat on the street, especially like when I was growing up. Like once you're a teenager, if you're coming from a nice neighborhood, which I was quite privileged in that sense, your touching with the society is when you're on the cab. Like you become a teenager and then you start traveling without your parents for the first time in a city of 20 million, which Istanbul is. And you go on a cab, and this cab driver, like you go like a couple friends, 3, 4 friends, and you try to like make the cab driver talk to you and tell you stuff that normal adults, your parents, your social area doesn't really do. So at that age, especially with taxis, and we don't have really public transport that much. Like when I was a kid, like we didn't even have metros here. All that stuff, like they tell you about all that like sexually weird stuff which you shouldn't hear. It's all like, you know, it's like being exposed to the id of society, if you will, like to the, you know, to what's under the closet. And if you go to football games, all the swearing and everything is about sexuality and family. And you know, they say from Sweden to Iran, you know, the less democracy, the more swearing about one's family, you know.
Oh shit, yeah.
In Turkey, swearing and insulting is so much about sexuality and family, you know. So I wanted to like, you know, just have all those like little chats that I remember from my teenage years and put them into the mouths of these cops. And then suddenly they became so genuine, you know. And then I wanted to run this movie both stylistically and philosophically. I wanted to run it into a like black metal, extreme, video nasty type of ritualistic mass shit, and try to subvert it as much as I can. The more you know, macho and the more nationalistic their little chit chat in the beginning of the movie was, the more sexually ambiguous and you know satanic, but without a connotation of to any certain like monotheistic,
like a cult sort of like cultish.
Lots of people tell me like, what are these like Turkish little like culture clues? I'm like, there aren't many. Culture and everything is in the beginning of the movie. The second part of the movie is really about like my dream logic, like from frogs that you see in LSD, like hallucinations, to all these like Hellraiser, Silent Hill, Sanitarium type of like old PC movies and PlayStation movies, mashing up everything together as much as I can and making it like a dark circus freak show. That's how it came about, actually. That's the story of Baskin.
Baskin is such a, I'm so happy. It took me years I just didn't pull the trigger. A lot of people told me to watch it too. And I just, you know, we had started the podcast. I was digging deep for everything. It was years ago. And, and I just never pulled the trigger. And I ended up at the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival 2 years ago. And I saw Sayara and it blew me away. And I was like, holy shit, this movie kicks ass. I couldn't wait for other people to see it. And I found out you did actually a little like video intro to it too. I remember it was pretty great. I was like, oh, this dude seems really fun. Like this is going to be awesome. And then it was like a really fucked up movie, but like, God, I loved it so much. If anyone, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's about a woman who works at a gym, and she's very quiet, and her sister is dating the owner of the gym, or just fucking him, really. And then the owner of the gym and his family and friends basically brutalize this woman and kill her. And then so the sister that worked there finds out and exacts revenge. And it's it was one of the greatest revenge movies I've ever seen in the way the revenge is laid out. And it blew me away. So I went right home. I watched Baskin right away. Absolutely fell in love with that and realized, wait, this is so fucking different. Like on a lot of levels. Like there's a stylistic similarity, kind of, but like like if you had told me it was two different directors, I would have believed you. But it when I saw it, I was like, oh, I hope he has more stuff coming out, or where can I find it? I had realized I had seen Housewife years ago and loved it, and actually had a long conversation with my friend Lloyd Brothers, who shout out to Lloyd, who has a unofficial trilogy that involves Housewife with The Void and Color Out of Space with Nick Cage. When they all kind of came out at the same time, and he was like, if you watch these all together, like back to back, they can all happen in the same universe, and it's sort of like setting up the whole thing. I was like, you're right, this is fucking rad. So it's the one I haven't seen, the most recent, because I can't find it streaming anywhere. But Housewife is such a fucking cool movie. I just remember it being like bizarre and absolutely completely different than Sayara and Baskin. And that even would bring us to Girl with No Mouth. But I wanna ask more about Housewife real quick. Just like, what was that, and was that your second film?
Yeah, that was my. I have this list of all the crazy sophomore features where an indie horror film becomes really successful in its own right, and the director goes really crazy, self-indulgent, what the fuck movie with the second film. Like, you could say Under a Silver Lake is something like that, or you could After It Follows, or you could say Midsommar is a bit like that too. Like, and it was kind of like that for me. Like I had this like huge success with Baskin, which I didn't even realize at the time. I only realized how lucky I was with the path of Baskin's festival run and everything only after my other films, when they weren't as successful. They're as close to my heart, but in terms of how they are sold and like how many people watched it and how many people responded to it, Baskin like is on another level. So now I look back and realize. So I was kind of like, at the time, I can do whatever I want, like whatever what I want to do, like. And I said, I'll make a supernatural giallo, because that's kind of like the coolest thing. Like, if you're a horror fan, everybody knows like giallo is the shit, and
Yeah.
supernatural giallos. The Fulci ones and the Bava ones and the Suavi ones, like I love them so much. So I said, I'll just go do something like that, and I'm gonna shoot it in English. What the heck? Just like doing a spaghetti western. I'm gonna shoot a movie in my backyard in Istanbul. I'm gonna like have like foreign actors in it. But when time came, I couldn't find the right funds to have the dream cast that I could. But with what I could find, I was quite really happy, because like all those movies that I like, all those giallos, people talk in different languages and they're all dubbed anyway. So I said, I don't care. I just want to have some fun actors, which I did. I love all my actors in that film. And at the time, I had this idea, like when I finish everything, I'm going to dub everybody in English. So it's going to be a dubbed film. I want it to be a dubbed film. Like I was going like really artsy fartsy in that sense. But like when the movie was finished, I was so in love with my actors and the whole procedure. I love filmmaking so much. I just couldn't really, and I tried like renting some people like from LA, but it didn't really work all the way from Istanbul, from internet. Some dubbing came, and they were so bad. I'm like, am I going to do this to my film? Probably not. But I ended up with a film where the lead actor, her 5-year-old self and her adult self talk in different accents. I'm like, it's really weird. I know. But like at the time, like, like it just adds to it, because like this movie is coming from a part of the horror topography where it's non-existent. Not only in Turkey, but like if you look at neighboring countries, there aren't any supernatural horror movie coming from this. So like the weirder the film, I had like even more fun. So now probably I wouldn't be able to make some of the decisions I made back then, but I think that movie is special because of those decisions, and it's a really crazy, ambitious, out there film. And yeah, and like unlike Baskin and Sayara, which are deeply fused in Turkish culture and they're very political I think, at heart, and they're very, very rebellious. Whereas Sayara is like, it's not really like rooted in any culture, except it's like this, like, on its own, like it's like a love letter to giallos, but it is like Lovecraft meets Cronenberg type of all these like elements in it. So like for the genre aficionados, I thought like always like this is like a movie like true to the horror aficionados. So like yeah, that's the story of Housewife.
That's fucking rad.
Sure.
And that movie, people should find that movie and watch it.
It was
Also,
the opening film for Brooklyn Horror Film Festival's second ever year. I think
That's awesome.
2017 opening film.
That's rad. I know they love you there.
Graham, I was gonna say it is streaming on AMC Plus, which means that it might be streaming on Shudder, but it's at least streaming on AMC Plus.
Not on Shudder, I don't think, but that is cool. So yeah. Go watch that. Well, let's get into Sayara, because that's where I officially I had seen Housewife, but I didn't know who had directed it. It was during quarantine, I think, too. So my whole brain was kind of gone, but I remember loving it. But Sayara, I saw at the film festival, and it blew me away.
Nice.
Oh, that looks beautiful. And that I got stickers from it. I had, there were a bunch of stickers they handed out with the cover. So rad.
And check out the Shameless Japanese DVD, which has nothing to do with
Cleaner.
It doesn't really exist in the film, like with a fucking like gun and everything. Like, what's up with the gun? Like so, I love it for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A gun and a mop, like
the cleaner. That's
great.
So good.
I mean, there is a mop in the film, and there is a gun. They just like smashed it all like
right.
kind of image. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like those Ugandan movie posters where they do like Jurassic Park, but then they also put in Godzilla. Like it's just like, all right, fuck it.
I love that stuff. But yeah, so congratulations on that. I know people are finally getting to see it here in the States, and everybody I know that's seen it has been like, holy shit. It's like brutal. Because it's like it's not an easy watch because of the sexual assault. But the payoff is great. And that's, I love a revenge movie, and the payoff has to be good if you're gonna go that far in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to like, especially with an assault revenge, this is like me and Mary Beth were talking about this too. It's like you have to earn the rape, which sounds bad, but like if you're gonna make a movie that is a rape revenge movie, the revenge has to be so good that it earns the assault scene. So like the assault scene can't be the thing that you remember from the movie. You have to be able to remember the revenge, because if you don't, then you fucked up. Then you made a rape movie, you didn't make a rape revenge movie. And that's where like when it comes to something like I Spit on Your Grave, which I don't like that movie because it's like a 45-minute rape scene. It's just like that movie is so exploitative that it doesn't work, at least in my opinion, whereas like Revenge, the Coralie Farge movie, that one you remember all of the revenge. Like all of that stuff throughout the movie, you're just like, oh yeah, like she fucks those dudes up. And oh yeah, she got raped in the early part of the movie, but she fucks those dudes up, like, so that's why that works. And then Sayara, I think, achieves that very well. Like I think the revenge aspect is what is memorable about those movies.
The tension in the third act too, leading up to the finale, is palpable. Like it's so fucking like I'm nervous the whole time. I've seen it a few times now, and I'm like, holy shit, like this is intense. Like I always like I'm not sure what's gonna happen, even though I know exactly what happens at the end. I'm like, oh my god, like what are they gonna do? So it's a fucking amazing movie, and I just it's what got me to really open up to your movies, and now I've seen as much as I can. I do want to see The Protector now. I know you did. Did you do a few? It might not be called The Protector. It was on Netflix.
Yeah, but I didn't write it. I didn't edit it. So.
Oh, did you just edit it? I thought you directed a few episodes.
I didn't write it. I didn't edit it. I directed it, but it was like and I left due to creative differences. It's like a very bitter.
Oh, okay.
And it has nothing to do with my vision, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Well, then I won't even bother.
Yeah.
We don't gotta watch that then.
Short films instead. They're like, I think you would be.
Yeah, the childbirth one is nutso. Like I just saw that recently, and
that's a part of from the same guys who did ABCs of Death and ABCs
right.
And then they followed it up with The Field Guide to Evil. It's an anthology, 8 different directors, 8 different countries, 8 different horror stories, and I have a segment in it which I'm super proud of, and that's the one I think you're mentioning. And separately, I also put it in my webpage at some point. On my webpage, you can see my short films. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic. I want to talk about real shortly before we get to the Turkish Coffee Table. Girl with No Mouth is
before that, for Sayara,
yes.
I want to say first of all, I'm super flattered, and I think the way you approach it is like both you and Jonas, like it's exactly like how I want. But also on top of it, I wanted to risk my career, if you will, and make this, like, in this age of political correctness and everything, I wanted to make this as dark as some of the movies in my library. And I'm a connoisseur of the darkest of the dark movies, just like yourself, probably. And movies like Kinatai, movies like Snowtown, movies like, the French New Extremity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to make a film which you can put next to these films and have its own voice. And that aspect of it is already existent in the Turkish culture, which is unfortunately in the last decade or so, it's like rampant with femicides and politically connected individual acts of murders, and they just bribe the system and they get away with everything. So I wanted to just pour all my depression and rebellion, like a scream of rebellion for this like Turkish system and everything, and also package this like an elevated video nasty,
Sure. Definitely.
More and more all the films or the horror films, like as much as I love James Wan and House on Haunted Hill, what's the guy, like Dr. Sleep guy?
Garrett, not Garrett.
Why am I not thinking of his
Mike
Flanagan?
As much as I love Mike Flanagan and like James Wan, what I'm really interested is, early John Carpenter type of, early Toby Hooper type of, like politically gritty, not really welcoming the mainstream, but still, if mainstream looks at it from the right perspective, it is there to be welcomed, So I wanted to make that type of a movie, and I wanted to make it really dark, and I deliberately stayed away from showing the violence, but that wasn't really not to upset the audiences. I just want to upset the audiences as much as I can. I wanted to upset myself as much as I can when I was doing it. It was like a really conflicting feeling. The less you show, the more you stay on the faces of the people who are watching the crime, or the more time you spend to the build up to it, and then you just show snippets. What am I seeing?
Yep.
So I think it even became like a stylistic kind of choice, because when I started writing Sayara, I was afraid that I'm going to end up with doing a rape film, because I know myself, like I want to make things as anti, commercial as I can, if you like, but like stylistically it didn't go there, and I wanted a movie which was like romantic at heart, despite all the darkness. I wanted to make a romantic movie at heart, and that was the romance between Sayara and her sister and the bad guy too.
Yeah, it might be my favorite film of yours, honestly. And I'm not sure, like it would be, I don't know. I love all your films, and they're all so different and so beautiful, and I love listening to you talk about like the art and like the desire to like use it as a protest, and that's so right up my alley. And Sayara kills it. It's just fucking like and that's like, I guess you're right. Like, I've seen it a few times, and I just remember violence, but like, I guess you didn't really show any of the terrible stuff. It's just
Just a couple
and
of things like
yeah,
sure.
and but I remember it being so dark and so heavy every time. It's not an easy watch.
A couple of the mainstream, like not mainstream, but a couple of the big genre festivals, like Fright Fest, Sitges, Fantastic Fest, usually they embrace my films. They all said no to Sayara. They all passed. I was so lucky that so many other festivals kind of like connected with it. But the main fest, and then I realized in the past 10 years since Housewife that I've been to these festivals are probably closer to digital platforms. Maybe they're closer to like having more, opening galas with famous actors, or that's why, like, or maybe their directors changed and they're a bit more PC these days. I don't know, but like I was really upset at first, and then I realized, with all these like mid-tier festivals, they have become so big, and then they did help Sayara to find a bigger audience. But some of the festivals that rejected Sayara said like they didn't want to have graphic violence, and I said, I don't have graphic violence off the rape. There's actually zero rape graphic violence scene. Like there's a build up to it. There's this really bad insulting punch which I copied right off True Romance when James Gandolfini punches.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that is one of the most, like, honestly, that James Gandolfini punch in True Romance, I still think about.
Yeah,
it's so fucking brutal.
It's like the same punch with the bald guy says to Sayara's sister, like, turn around, no, turn this way, and then the punches him.
Yeah,
yeah. So
holy shit!
That's a great. I didn't even realize that, and that's such a great because especially in True Romance, because the look on his face after he punches her is so brilliant. He was such a great actor. Like, I mean, just like he brought something very special.
There's that
good
famous,
good call.
Yeah, great. I've always said that there's a famous question here, like, replace everyone in the movie with Muppets except for one person. Like, and I always say True Romance, keep Gandolfini.
I always say a Serbian film. Anyways, keep the kid.
So I real quick, I want to touch on a girl with no name, or Girl with No Mouth.
No Mouth.
Yeah. It's such a delightful movie, honestly, in comparison. And you told me some of the background about it, but so let our audience know how this movie came about.
Well, I mean, after Baskin and Housewife, I couldn't find. I was lucky with both of those movies, and with every single film of mine, I'm super lucky that I find this new private investor, after every single film, I'm like, okay, that's it. Probably I'm not going to be able to finance my next film. And then somehow it happens. But at the time, after Housewife, it took like more than a year, and I couldn't really find the funds to make a new film. And then there was a government funding option was open, and they were impressed by the success of Baskin being the first Turkish film in US Netflix and stuff like that. It played around the world. So they said, like, if you submit a project to us, which is under 18, it shouldn't be like a R-rated movie. It can't be an R-rated film. So like, I'm a genre lover as much as I'm a horror fan. I'm a genre aficionado, if you will. So I said, how about I do a post-apocalyptic kids on a mission movie? Something I wanted to do before I die, and on such a small budget, it was madness to try to pull it off. But I'm so happy I tried to do it. And at the time, I was really influenced by this graphic novel called Sweet Tooth.
Oh yeah.
Was later made into a terrible series on Netflix.
Yep.
Really bad. I think my film is much more loyal to Sweet Tooth in terms of atmosphere than that fucking film. Like, the lead actor looks like a kinder commercial movie, like so shiny and so bright, that movie. And the graphic novel is like really dark, but it's like a kiddie kiddie film, like those Terry Gilliam movies, like from the
Yeah.
80s, you know.
Right.
What was that film when they were like went onto this journey from the closet?
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits, yeah.
Right.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I want also another Terry Gilliam film from his later years where there was this girl like living in train wrecks. There was all these like trains, abandoned trains, and
Thailand?
Thailand, yeah. So like those movies were my main influence, and a bit of like a scene from Stand by Me, a scene from like this other like Kids on a Mission movie. You know, like I wanted to make like the players of Bremen. How do you say like in English? Like you know, do you know that old tale? Like anyways, like the four animals on top of each other, and they scare the thieves. Like
a fairy tale, like an old what's the word?
La Fontaine fairy tale.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make something like that, and with the budget I have at hand, you know, trying to pull off a post-apocalyptic movie is like really crazy, like in an industry where there are no know-how about that. So I like really did everything by myself, all these little scenes. It was like shooting an action movie in 3 weeks, you know, and that was that. And you know, a bit like something I wanted to do since my early days of playing Fallout, Full Throttle, all the, you know, like, or the third movie of Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome, all the kids, you know, everything.
Sure.
So I love, there's actually absolutely sort of a Thunderdome feel to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the old one out in my filmography. I see, but you know, like, you know, I had to do it. It's
like, I think I told you, but it reminded me of The Straight Story by David Lynch, which was just about a guy driving his lawnmower to visit his dying brother. And it's there's nothing weird. It's just a simple story. And it's still a great fucking movie. And this is David Lynch, who, like, most of the time you're like, okay, I don't know what just happened, but I feel weird. So
and there's like many stuff happening in Girl with No Mouth off screen. Like a huge house is being burned. Like there's a fucking ship. There's a ship in the middle of a forest, you know, but everything is so tiny in scale and everything is off screen. But I love that, you know, it's just like those Italian shameless ripoffs of the, you know, like, you know, Bronx Warriors 2019, After the Fall of New York 2019, all those like Italian ripoffs. I think that was the spirit I was chasing.
I thought it was great. It's really, and that's on Tubi. If anybody wants to go watch that, Baskin's on Shudder, Housewife's on AMC Plus,
and Sayara is going to be on all, like, I think more than 3-4 platforms, like in a couple months.
Awesome.
Now I think it's on. Now it's on.
I bought it
on Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Prime.
Yeah, it's crazy that that movie's on Prime, and very soon, and a crazy 4K UHD release is coming from Germany with like 6 alternate covers. They have this media book thing with like a 60-page booklet inside. This amazing, they're giving this amazing treatment, which I couldn't be happier about.
Germany releases some really cool physical media, especially on media books. They do really good with that.
That's so cool. All right, so the last movie I want to talk about is the Turkish Coffee Table. And this is, first of all, my big question is, and this isn't supposed to sound like why would you do this? But it is. It's why.
Yeah.
It's like because this was a movie that came out not long ago from I believe Spain.
Yeah.
And it's almost like scene for scene remake.
Yes.
But it's not, and it's Jonas and I were discussing it. I think we both feel like it's the better one, but it's just so bizarre. So tell us how this came about, because this is nuts.
I just want to pop in really. I love that you remade it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the second Graham was like, and there's a remake of the Coffee Table. I'm like, yes. I love the Coffee Table. Like, to me, I think it's the funniest movie I've ever seen. Because I'm like just that guy. You know what I mean? Like, and B, like it's such an interesting film in that it's like it's just like it's as dark as it can be, but it's really about this dude like struggling with his choices and like really it's about like a coffee table. And I just think it's like I just wanted to like before we get into it, hats off to being like, you know what, I watched that movie and was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it too. Like
Yeah.
It's like I want to
Like,
do
Because
that. I'm gonna
I'm
do
a
that.
huge remake guy. Like I think remakes are awesome, honestly. Like
Okay.
I just
My
love that. I just love it. I just love that.
Yeah,
Like you
it's so
watch
good.
that, it's like we're like, yep, we're
because this
going
was a
over to-
quick turnaround for a
I love it.
remake.
I love
real
it.
quick, but I mean, I'm very sensitive on remakes. There are like remakes that I love, obviously, and then there are these remakes I refuse to watch ever, like the remake of Total Recall or RoboCop. I never even watched, and I would never even like touch that. But if RoboCop remake was done by the same director, and if he had full creative license, then I would watch it. So
Right.
at this day and age, for a genre filmmaker like myself, the biggest luxury, the biggest praise is not getting a new job or doing this new Marvel series in Netflix, but making a new film with full creative license. You know, that's almost impossible. And every time I make a movie with full creative license, like all my films are, I never like had the I always had the final cut, and I always wrote them, and I never made money. You know, that's the price I pay. That's the price I pay. But like I get money like in other ways, and and I think this will be it will be valuable in the future and everything. So it was, and I like bizarre things, and I like experimenting things, and just like I told you with Girl with No Mouth, I like making a film. You know, so that's why when this offer came to me, we were at Cannes Film Festival showing Sayara, not in the festival side, but in the industry side. There's this thing called Fantastic Pavilion run by the Mexican Morbido Festival's head, Pablo Guiza. And Pablo told me, like, and it was like everybody liked Sayara and everything. Pablo told me, hey, John, how about I have the remake rights to a film, single location, 4 actors. And Stephen King tweeted about it, saying like it's the darkest movie you'll see. I said, okay, like with Sayara, I did something so dark, and I ticked all the boxes in terms of style, content, everything, as anti-mainstream as I can. There's even like a joke, like swearing at Netflix at some point in that. So I was so anti. I mean, I can do like a mainstream job. I can do like something to make money, and let me give this a watch. And then I came home, I watched Coffee Table. I'm like, fucking hell, this is not going to be a mainstream project. What the fuck is this? And like, and I did tell to Pablo. I said, like, Pablo, who would watch a Turkish remake of a Spanish festival film from only 3 years ago? And he told me, just watch it, and then you will understand. And then when I watched it, it's just like there were so many elements, like the dinner table and the baby and a death in a family and all these themes that have been running through since my short films, since my
Right.
very first short film. There's always a death of a baby, birth of somebody, or like somebody from a curse coming from grandparents, housewife, you know, Baskin. They're all about the family. At the end of the day, they're all about the family and bad news. So I was, and also this was my kind of like my project of Gus Van Sant doing Psycho type of
I
thing.
thought of that
You're right.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something 180 degrees different to the expectations. The expectations would be the director of Basking taking this and making it even gorier. And yes, okay, I will make it gory, but I will make this a more fun, a more family-friendly looking on the facade. On the facade, it looks like a more, you know, TV friendly. This is going to be my Trojan horse to Turkish mainstream. You know, that was my motivation. And I only accepted to do it if I would have a Turkish TV darling, like a big celebrity, like one of the best Turkish comedy actors that nobody would assume to do something like that. And I thought like that would never happen. But since I love the project so much and I had free time, I wrote a Turkish screenplay anyway. And then with that screenplay, when Alper Kul, the lead actor who played Turkish Coffee Table, when he read it, he loved it so much. And he's such a celebrity here, like this is my Adam Sandler doing Uncut Gems type of moment, like, and with all my films, I can never afford like A-list actors in Turkey even, not, because like when I make movies, they have like lots of graphic violence and nudity and anti-Turkish values, and they never make money. I can never pay properly to my cast and crew. They're just diehard film fans, like I am. Like all the people you see in Sayara and Baskin, they're either like they're late in their career or super early in their career, or they are non-actors. Like. But with Turkish Coffee Table, I had a stellar cast. Like every single actor and actress in that film is like they're very famous. Like all my friends, like my brother and my friends, like in the Turkish premiere, they came to me, and in their eyes, I see like, Can, finally you made a real film. Shut the fuck up. And
Finally, you made a real film, and it's The Coffee Table. Like,
my brother told me that he was happy that the movie didn't go off the rails towards the end. Like he was like praying because he says like all my films go so off the rails. He thought like Turkish Coffee Table was contained.
I mean, it was in a sense.
I take it as a compliment, and this was my experiment in, because like I wasn't really a fan of the ending of the original film. I wasn't a fan of the tempo of the original film, but I'm like huge respect to Kaye Casas, to the original writer director, for creating that beautiful premise and beautiful story, So I said, I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to like translate this culturally to a Turkish family, and immediately it's going to be crazier because Turks are always on the edge, like family is even more sacred to Turks than Spaniards, and also Turks are even more on the edge, and they're more Mediterranean, if you will, like. So as soon as I think lots of people tell me like this is funnier than the original, or this is more like tense than the original, but I think what it really is, it's more angry than the original, and like everybody's about to be more like they're all trying to contain themselves, all the actors. So it was like again, it was an experiment, and again, like I think the movie owes a lot to the amazing soundtrack and the guys who let me use it. Like Hey Douglas is the best. Like anybody listening to us, please go to Spotify or YouTube and check Hey Douglas. Their music is so funky, so cool, so oriental. It's and that added a special extra flavor to Turkish Coffee Table. And the name was my idea too. Like they didn't know what the name was going to be. I said, you know what? I'm not going to be embarrassed by making a Turkish remake of it. I'm going to embrace it. I said, this is going to be called the Turkish.
Right. Right. And anybody who hasn't had a Turkish coffee,
like, they were a bit. They didn't like the name at first. They're like Turkish coffee, and then they really enjoyed it afterwards. Yeah,
it's so good, and I think people are right when they say it's darker and gorier and funnier. Like it's both of those, I think, and I think that's why I prefer it. I also, my wife and I both commented on how the lead actor was much more like you rooted for him more in the Turkish one. You were like on his side. Like the first one, you're like, you fucked up, man. Now what? But this one, you're like, shit, man. Like you kind of feel for him a little more.
You're in so much trouble, dude. Like,
but yeah, it's just such an interesting and cool thing, and that's what I thought of when the Gus Van Sant Psycho remake, which I didn't care for, but this I cared deeply for because it was so bizarre for you to do it. Just like that is the last thing I thought you were going to tell me when we were talking, is that like when you said the Turkish Coffee Table, I was like, there's no way that's just a remake of the Coffee Table. And
right.
That's exactly what it fucking was. And I loved every second. So thank you so much.
Cinematographically, it's like a departure from the rest of my films. Like if you notice, like Sayara and Baskin and Housewife, there's lots of dark, deep shadows, lots of contrast, and lots of Sayara, especially, like it's always camera is on the shoulder, like it's very like jarring and disorienting. And Baskin also with gyros and all these like things, it's also jarring and disorienting. Whereas here, the camera is like 80% on a tripod. It's all in a white walled house. The movie is like full on daylight. The whole movie is like on daytime. There's not a single night scene, which is like super unusual for my films. But I thought like this approach would even like make the film like even more, more of a trolling movie, if you will. And by the way, thank you guys for like giving me a voice and window on this, because like I'm really like crossing my fingers for Turkish Coffee Table to be accepted at some point in the North American, market, because like so far, like as I said, unlike rest of my films, this movie didn't catch a festival or something like in the North American market yet. But like so far, whoever watches it, like lately it was Joe Lynch and Adam Green. They watched it and they said they liked it even more than the original. And like, at some point, I'm going to do a podcast with them too. But like. This is my best review that I got like with my films. Actually, I feel a bit weird because like usually I like dividing the audiences.
Right. You guys like it?
Oh,
I love that.
But yeah.
I could see Brooklyn Horror Fest picking it up. Actually, I could see Brooklyn Horror Fest doing it.
Yeah, I think they did pass at some point. I think I'm not sure. Yeah, the North American release, the North American thing was all with Pablo, the guy who gave me the project in the first place, and like he had some financial problems. My producers have some financial, and somehow it was just like it stayed on the limbo.
Don't you like that financial problems are global? You know what I mean? Like like
it's everywhere.
Like,
it's in all like, movies.
Like everybody trying to create art in this world is like, yeah, we have financial problems with it. It's funny because there's all sorts of things that they don't have financial problems with globally, but art is one of them. But hopefully you can get it out, and we can and we'll do our part to promote it.
Absolutely.
Because,
I'll definitely put a worm in the people's ear over at Brooklyn Horror too, because like I think like
and also Matt Barone promised me that he was gonna send me a purple hoodie from Sayara's. Never did. And one day I'll be like in his house and like looking for that purple hoodie.
All right, so thank you so much. That was awesome, and I could talk to you all day about all of your movies, but I want to get you out in time to go.
Thank you so much.
But I want to run through the Sinister Six real quick. And
I'm not in that much of a hurry. We can go like another 10 minutes, by the way.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
So the Sinister Six opinion questions. Answer them however you want, however you take the question. So the first one is Michael Myers or Leatherface. Nice.
There you go.
That is a beautiful tattoo. Yeah. Okay.
Leatherface on that one.
Leatherface and the original Leatherface played by Gunnar Hansen, the way he played it as a weird childlike person rather than a psycho,
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest inspirations for me to be a filmmaker, like the way how Tobe Hooper did it with so little budget and every single scene. It's like an art movie, I love it so much.
Me too. Nice. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Easy. All right, number two. This is a weird one, but oh, that's right. Okay, what movie would you remake?
I would like to love to make an American remake of Sayara.
That would be pretty rad.
That would be amazing. Actually, that would be really cool. That would roll.
If you could erase one movie from existence, what would it be?
So many.
I love that it's either like people are like, "Oh, I can't do that," or it's like, "Nah, I got a whole list."
It's like I got a stack.
Once you're passionate about film, like it comes with it, But like I'll just go. I think that film, like Everywhere, Everything, All at Once.
Really?
Yeah.
Piss everybody off like as much as I can. I hate that.
No, it's a good hot take. I like that.
No, I like it. I
the
like
only
the
thing
film.
that's cool about that film is that that older guy turns out to be the same actor who was in Indiana Jones, and you don't really understand it in the movie anyway. So
yeah,
Data and Goonies.
Yeah, true.
From Girl with No Mouth, I got a little bit of Goonies in there too. Number 4, Alien or Aliens?
It's it's like a coin toss, but I have to go with Alien for sure. As much as I love Aliens, I have to go with Aliens. Like one of my all-time favorite movies. And like they say, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre on space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good.
Love that.
All right, basement or attic?
Yeah, basement. Id. Always id.
Perfect.
All right, and last one, favorite kill of all time.
Favorite kill of all time. Such a difficult question. But the most traumatized I've ever been is, I think I was maybe 12 or something, and I watched Jaws 2. And, when that caretaker teenager person, she pushes the little kid to the boat, and then when she was trying to go out like that, the way that Jaws comes from underneath, that's like, I think, the most traumatizing kill by a non-person, by a non-human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I would argue that that's one of the. I think that there's a few key scenes in movie histories that are generational trauma, and I think that scene is one of them. I think that scene fundamentally altered the way we felt about swimming in water. You know what I mean? I think it was so effective. I also feel like, because I live in a timber state, the Final Destination scene with the log truck is also a generational trauma scene. But I think that's such an amazing choice, because I truly feel like it's underappreciated about the fundamental societal change that happened after Jaws, that you can't go in water without feeling like, people didn't used to be terrified of deep water. They just were like, oh, it's the water. It is. And then that happened, and it planted this this seed of, and it's really that scene, you know what I mean? That she's just out for a swim, and, and clearly a filter, because you can see the gleaming of of the waves, but it's yeah.
But more than Jaws, like Jaws is a classic, and it's obviously like 2 levels above the sequel. But as a kid, you don't really watch Jaws, but as a kid, you have Jaws 2, which is basically like a slasher with a monster.
With the shark.
It was on Turkish TV, like Jaws 2 and 3, they were like not Jaws 1 so much. It was more late night screening, but Jaws 2 and 3, they were mainstream,
Sure.
9 p.m. primetime screenings. And as a kid, it's almost like a fun movie. It is a very fun movie, and you see all these teenagers, they're experimenting with sex and making out for the first time, and you as a teenager, you see it from a different, and then they all get like a vagina dentata type of thing happening. And also in the third movie, that scene where that guy was inside the interior of the mouth of the shark scene, you remember?
Yeah. Yes.
Those 2 scenes, they traumatized me more than my awe for the cinematographical and literature amazingness of the first film.
Right.
Those 2 scenes, they have a different place in my heart. And also, if we eliminate monsters, if it has to be a person, I would say my favorite kill is that taking out the heart in the 3rd Indiana Jones movie.
No, that is
it's a classic.
Yeah, that's generational trauma.
Last year I watched it again, after so many years, and I'm like, fuck. Subconsciously, I stole all the ritual of Baskin from this scene, chanting and all the build up and everything.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's so good. I love it.
All right, recommendations.
Let's do you have to. Do you have to go, John? Because we can just do your recommendation. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
I'll do my recommendations quick.
We'll make them quick.
Yeah, mine's physical media for the most part. Physical media. So first one, Saint Bernard, and that one's weird
movie.
And crazy as fuck. If you've never seen that, John, you would probably fucking love it.
Check it out. Okay.
I'll
note.
It's by who did Saint Bernard? We had him on the show.
Gabe Bartolos.
Gabe Bartos, and he did
Yeah,
Skin Deep, and he's incredible.
he's a visual effects artist. And this is his first movie that he directed, and it's absolutely batshit fucking crazy. So,
Okay, I need a note. This is
there's another one, Ebola syndrome.
2019, right?
What's
Ebola
that?
syndrome. I love Ebola syndrome. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Ebola syndrome is absolutely also batshit insane. Talking about the revenge genre, this one is probably one of the most fucked up revenge movies I've seen, and it's not a rape revenge; it's actually a murder revenge. It's called Daddy's Little Girl,
Oh,
and
damn.
it is fucking brutal, but it's also really, really well done. And that one's on Tubi. You can find that one on Tubi. In theaters, go see They Will Kill You. It's fantastic. It's actually probably the best horror movie I've seen this year. And then music, check out Cal Scrooby's new album. It's called The Devil You Know. And that's what I got.
All right.
Awesome. I got for music, Melvins and Napalm Death put out a collaborative album, and it's so fucking good. It's Napalm Death and Melvins on their weirdest shit. And it's fucking great. I love both those bands, and for them to put out, it's called Savage Imperial Death March. It's got tossing coins into the fountain of fuck is a good one.
What
That's
a
pretty
great
great.
title.
Yeah, I really love that title. And for streaming, I watched Custom, and it fucking ruled. It's like a smutty. So it's about a couple who has sex on tape to send to people. You know, they're like, hey, do this, and they're like, okay. And somebody's like, hey, do this weird ritual, and they're like, okay. And then it gets real fucked up, and it's like smutty Lovecraft. So
Nice.
I thought that was great. It's called Custom. It's on Prime, and Somnium is on Shutter now. I saw that at the same Brooklyn Horror Film Festival that I saw Sayara, actually. And that's a great one. It's got Chloe Levine as the lead, and we love Chloe Levine on this podcast. She was in The Ranger and the Sacrifice Game. Excellent actor. She rules, and the movie's about implanting dreams into people to make them better. It's really cool. So check those out. Ryan?
I've been very Luddite lately with stuff. I've mostly just been doing stand-up comedy, and I have to set up my TVs today because I moved. And honestly, like hanging TVs on the wall, it might as well be like climbing over like Mount Everest at this point for me. Like I will die like of oxygen deprivation like halfway up. So like every time I look at it, I'm like, I could do that, or I could just doom scroll. And by doom scroll, I just think about those are just my memories. But I have been listening to the Jimmy Savile series on another goddamn horror podcast. No, that's this
Yes.
podcast. On the last podcast on the left. I have been listening to the Jimmy Savile, which is on there. I hate using the term Mount Rushmore because I hate Mount Rushmore. But that's a whole other podcast. But fuck Mount Rushmore. The mountain was beautiful before they carved those assholes in there. But anyways, go look at the old pictures of it. You'll be like, that's amazing. It's also in the Circle of the Center universe for the people of that area, and anyways, it was created by Klansmen. Anyways, that's my Mount Rushmore thing. But they're doing the Mount Rushmore of Evil series, and this is their second installation. And they're doing Jimmy Savile, who was a English BBC announcer for a long time, and he was one of the most prolific, also sexual assaulters of young children in a long time. And it's a really intense true crime story, not only about the evils of him, but the BBC's intention of protecting him and protecting that sort of behavior because he was a money maker. He was also a very good friend of everybody's favorite Brit, Margaret Thatcher, who's one of the worst human beings on the planet ever in the history of humans. Sorry,
Just a recommendation.
sorry, England. No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving the recommendation, Graham. And it's just about how the protection of him from the royal family, from the leaderships and things like that, allowed him to have keys to hospitals and attack people who were paralyzed and all sorts of terrible things. And he died getting away with it. But it is a very interesting tale. So I would strongly suggest going and listening to that. And also the new Terror songs are also very good. So go listen to Terror. Always listen to Terror. Scott Vogel is like a really legit human being, and so go listen to him. Jean, what do you suggest?
Well,
What would you recommend?
first of all, I'm going to recommend this film called Kinatai. I just mentioned it, and I realized like I didn't get any response from you guys when I was saying like the influences of Sayara, and in every single festival or wherever I mentioned this film, nobody seems to know about this. But this film, when Tarantino was the head of Cannes Film Festival, they gave this film the best director or special jury prize. And I think also it's translated as butchered in English. This is top 5 or top 3 most disturbing films I've ever seen. So there's something for you.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's a 2009 Filipino movie called Kinatai.
Awesome.
Definitely putting that on my list.
Yeah.
I don't know what's streaming and not over there. So Turkey is a land of piracy anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like tell you like one of my favorite films I've discovered last year. It's a 1977 Spanish film from Eloy de Iglesia. I don't know how you spell, but it's called The Creature, La Criatura. There's some bestiality in it, but it's a beautiful. And it's the same guy who did the terribly English translated title Cannibal Man, a famous video nasty. It's a beautiful film with a terrible title. It has nothing to do with a cannibal man. A cannibal is a man anyway. So yeah, Eloy de la Iglesia, The Creature.
Nice.
Awesome.
Fucking dope.
Kinatai, by the way, is on both Prime and Tubi. So I'm definitely going to watch that shit today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And as for music, as I said, Hey Douglas. Check out Hey Douglas's sets.
Hey, Douglas.
Okay. Douglas.
I have a real quick question. You're a big toy collector. I've heard. That's true? Was there like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in more than one of your movies?
It's in the opening of Baskin.
Yeah.
And it's not an original one, because I thought like a kid like that in the 90s who's going to be a cop socioeconomically, he wouldn't have like an original turtle, but
he'd have a bootleg
turtle. And I'm also like very much into bootleg action figures, just like they're like my B movies, you know. And I have a huge collection. If you go to Instagram, go Galaxy Ooze. Galaxy Ooze is the title of my Instagram account, where I have like all my action figures, 80s and 90s only, nothing new, nothing recent.
Nice.
I love it.
I love it.
I've been watching a lot of deep dives into He-Man lately on YouTube. I watched the 5 different origins of Faker, which was always like my favorite dude, but he never had like a solid storyline. Anyway, I love that shit. So I'm following that now.
Well, John, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, this is super rad.
It's super rad, and I'm sure you get asked a lot of the same questions about Turkish film and everything. So thanks for humoring us. It's just important, you know, as a As a, you know, in America, is that I feel like it's an important part for our duty to try to spread the word of what y'all are doing out there, and I love talking to people from different places because you know what I mean. There's so much rich art created in this world. So thank you so much for being part of that, and everybody really needs to go watch Turkish Coffee Table. Like watch them back to back. I like
That's what I did. I
like
absolutely watched them.
they're absolutely great and they're super fun and it's the funnest time you'll have with a baby falling out a window. It's
It's not what happens.
oh, that's right. That's right.
It's very
It's class.
particular.
Anyway,
how
it's
the
a whole
baby-
thing. Anyways, but it's a great time and for that sort of film and please whenever you have anything else coming out, please come back and talk with us. We're here to this is why we're here. So thank you. You know, and thank you to everybody who listens worldwide. We have a Patreon. Come follow us. And yeah, that's it. Thank
Take
you all.
care. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks so
Bye.
much, John.
Until next time. Until next time.
I'll
All right,
send you
thanks, man.
this.
All right,
Good
thank
one,
you.
John.
Bye. You want to pause, Jonas?
Mhm.
Well, that was fun.
That
Yeah, it
was
was.
so rad.
So
John
good.
fucking rules.
Yeah, that dude rules. Like, it's just really exciting, you know. Like I'm just, you know, I think one of the favorite parts about doing the show is talking to people from all over the world in different cultures. You know what I mean? As much as I love talking to our Americans, but even here, we talk to people from different places, and
Yeah.
you know, we've had a ton of people on from Kentucky and things like that. You know what I mean? It's just cool to meet horror fans and like-minded people.
I
Very
like that he's like legitimately passionate about horror too. Like
yeah.
he really loves horror.
I feel,
Loving art as a for protest is just my favorite shit in the world. So-
exactly, exactly, and you know, and we're kind of in this, you know, we're you know, like especially like in the modern era, like of humanity, since there is this big, you know, corner to you know, like this like slide towards fascism, not even a slide, like we're just
I was
like
gonna
you know,
say,
but
that's,
you know, but his country, you know, the country my family, one half of my family's from Hungary is super in it. You know what I mean? It's really an unfortunate reality, and I just hope you know we you know it's easy as a group of um, two and a half white guys. We should just change our podcast name to that, by the way.
Two and a half whites.
Two and a half whites.
I don't know. I'm fat enough to where I'm like 1.5, so I feel like I'm at least full white, like in that sense.
I told you, you always say that, but I'm never going to deny that.
No.
That you know, I'm never going to deny that you're half Asian. You know what I mean?
I'll fucking use that. I'll use both. I'll use the Asian privilege and the white privilege. I don't
You
give a shit.
You should. But you know, but to be able to talk to people from all over the world, and boy, to talk to somebody from Istanbul, like I'm such a geek, you know what I mean? That I'm just like, ooh, like this is fucking rad. So, big shout out to him, and
I didn't even get to ask him, by the way. I didn't get to ask him or talk to him about the fact that Istanbul is also one of the most concentrated cat cities in the entire fucking world.
Oh yeah.
Like I have a friend, it was somebody who I used to do my day job for their brand before they sold their brand. And now she's kind of like just a wanderlust. She just goes all over the fucking world and goes on like, you know, I mean when you sell a huge company, that's what you get to do. So one of the things that she did is she went to Istanbul, and her entire story thing on Instagram for like a week straight was just cats. It was just people being dope as fuck to all these strays. And apparently that's a thing in Istanbul. Like they set up like feeding stations, and they set up shelter, and they set up all these things, and there's just hundreds of these strays that are just very well taken care of. People just
Well, it used
fucking
to be
love the cats
called-
there.
It used to be called Constantinople, right?
Oh, that, you know what? I've heard that term. So but no, it's yeah, that was something I was gonna bring it up to him.
Was that a pun, Graham?
Me?
Yes.
Never.
Graham doesn't do puns.
Because Yeah, it's anyways, I think it is funny though that the majority of us like when we hear Istanbul,
I hear the
Constantinople,
"They
those
Might Be Giants"
giant
song.
song, which
Yeah.
is awful,
Mhm.
like which is a
Just
punishment.
truly terrible.
It's just truly like everybody who didn't like music really liked that song, and maybe I'm just like, with the exception of like a handful, I'm just not a novelty song guy. You know what I mean? Like so like and I feel like that was it. Like I feel like the worst thing about that song. I'm just gonna fucking go out here right now and say that They Might Be Giants is a novelty band. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
like, I don't think that they were trying to be, but I think that they are, and like I think that they suck. And I think we can all back Weird Al just because Weird Al is like clearly
Unapologetically Weird Al.
you're right, and like a kind of a genius, and like everybody kind of likes Weird Al. You know what I mean? But like They Might Be Giants is fucking just dumb, and like and screw that song for making me think that when I'm talking to somebody cool, when he's like, formerly Constantinople, and I'm like, and I'm like,
And you're like,
Jesus
fuck.
Christ, like what is the hell is like we are so like I don't learn anything about the history of Turkey in school, but I know that stupid ass
Yeah,
song,
I know
and
it used to be called
it's right
Constantinople.
from that ridiculous, stupid song. Like
That's
there's
called pop culture cancer.
yeah,
Like
it
it just
really
sits in
is.
your brain and
You're
becomes a
right. It-
pop
like like
culture tumor.
like if you knew the things I wanted to actually know that I don't, like speak a foreign language, or you know what I mean, or all the names of the Supreme Court justices. But like I don't
They
No,
know.
dude,
probably
I work.
have that song.
I
Right,
fucking
but
work in a Whole Foods a lot, and I know all the words to so many Hootie and the Blowfish songs now,
Oh
and I'm real pissed off about it.
fucking
God.
Like
Hootie.
every time it comes on, I'm like, oh fuck, I know the words. Ah, it's like the most suicidal I've been for a long time, where I'm just like, I could just fucking stop this right now. Like, I need to know these words.
Hootie and the
Um,
Blowfish is influential on my band, Fancy Pants and the Cell Phones, just for the name, like there not being a Hootie.
Hootie can gargle my blowfish. All right, I hate that band so
and
much.
like
Also,
and
For
Darius
sure, I
Rucker.
don't like that, but I love when I just love band names
First of
where
all, first of all, bullshit. He's not Hootie. I don't care what anybody says. The dude is Hootie. I like you can he can say, oh no, there was no Hootie. It was just a silly name. But it's like, how would anybody know that or confirm that just from you saying it? No, the Darius Rucker's Hootie. I don't care what he tries to sell us. Fuck you, Darius Rucker. If you're listening, I know you are. You are Hootie. You're Hootie, bro. Like, I'm sorry that like you didn't make that clear from the get go with your crap band. I will say though that Darius Rucker is actually a good singer. But he's Hootie.
He's
Anyways,
definitely Hootie.
thank you all for tuning in. This is like a weird after show. Sometimes when we have guests who have a limited time, we do this, and then we are now giving you like a post podcast. This is like a post podcast
I feel like
time.
John would also think Hootie and the Blowfish is a fucking hack.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. It's anyways, we do have a Patreon.
we do.
You should go check it out. We are if you go to patreon.com and look up AGHP 666. You can find our information. We have everything from $1 to $20. We are working on content for it. So, do you like my boozy after hours voice that I've gone into now? Is this? What do you guys think? Is this the new direction of another goddamn horror podcast?
are you gonna play a song for
You
somebody's
just
Yeah,
get
yes.
dedication
slower
or some
and
shit?
louder.
And we're going to play some OJs coming up.
Well, instead of listening to Ryan do that all night, you
Why?
should join the army of the goddamn via our Patreon. Just like the incredible Michael, Drew, Stephanie, Katie, Chris, Alan, Angela, Jasmine, Jason, Jake, Vivian, Ron, Kristen, Manny, Coleman, Jared, Michelle, and Brandon.
Fuck yeah, you should.
Wicked awesome. And thank you to everybody all over the world. We've had a lot of listeners in Vietnam lately, which is incredible. Thank you all to listen to. I used to go down the list. Now I'm picking out specific countries that
I
have
like
shut.
just picking like a
I know you do. Half the reason I didn't want to do it is because I knew that you were going to like it. So like,
like that.
I was like, I
Thank
shouldn't
you.
do this because Graham is going to enjoy this, and he's gonna be happy that I quit. You know what I mean?
He's gonna smile more today. And
Right.
we can't have that.
I can't have Graham enjoying my input on this podcast because then
I was just sick of having. I was just sick of us having to mention the United States. That's really, really, really what it is. So I'm glad that you're shouting at other countries now.
Exactly, but Vietnam, wow, you know what I mean? Like that's and it was a big increase in Vietnamese, I would love to go to Vietnam. I think that it's an amazing place. Yeah, so please keep this world is really in a dark place right now, and a lot of people are struggling. I'm struggling, and it's been a lot this year, both personally and externally, and I want you to all know that we are all in this together, and we need you around. So if you're hearing this and you don't need this advice, cool. If you're hearing this and you're thinking the dark thoughts, know that I specifically, and probably Jonas, maybe Graham, want you around. Graham doesn't really want country celebrated. I mean, if we're looking at it for the reality, he wants me to shut up about your country is basically what he
No,
says.
that's not true.
Just
but
the United States.
I love your country.
but just so you know that we get it. It's hard, and we love you, and we really do, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Take care of yourself. Stick around. We got more episodes coming up. We got people on tap.
Oh, I'm on a booking frenzy right now.
We're going. We are. We kind of cleared the slate a little bit. We're gonna have some list episodes coming up. We're gonna have some fun episodes coming up. And if you have anything to live for, it's that. You know what I mean? Me
and Ryan arguing over some bullshit.
right. The truth is that Graham and I love each other immensely, but I have to, you know what I mean? But I just can't let him have it. You know what I mean?
No,
like, it's just like,
fine.
That's just the nature of this game, y'all. And, you know what I mean? So, really do stick around. And, I'm telling you this as much as I'm telling myself this. So, you know what I mean? So, stick around. We got amazing shit coming up. Watch more horror, watch more indie horror, listen to more indie bands, go see live music, go out in the world, stare at your phone if it makes you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, go and quit. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, I'm back on Instagram if anybody wants to.
Right. Just get back on Facebook, too. Jesus Christ. Your protest was noticed. Good job. I'm
actually much happier not being on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, that seems obvious.
He actually is.
I don't know if I agree, but anyways, thank you all so much for
because I call Ryan during the week and bitch to him about stuff.
Yeah, we haven't even really talked about. Jonas and I haven't even really talked publicly about. Everybody in the world can if you want to know how being a friendship with Graham is currently trying to make phone calls happen again. Like Graham is now like I look down and Graham is calling my phone. Now mind you, like the only person who calls my phone is my dad. You know what I mean? Like otherwise nobody's calling me. Like
I called Drew, one of the army of the goddamn.
When my phone is ringing, like generally it's either a creditor or an emergency. You know what I mean? Like it's
Or
never
it's
anything.
me.
It's
Hey,
never
look, did
anything
you see
good.
this?
Now it's Graham, which is a
Bro,
little
you've
bit of.
told me to call you like 4 times, and I'm like, dude, I take that as a personal attack. Don't fucking do that.
I
Right,
threaten to
like-
call you all the time, and I'm gonna again. I've done it before, and you were not happy. So
No,
that was
I
the
quite
reaction I
unhappy.
wanted.
He's trying to make phone calls happen. So if your life is struggling, imagine being friends with a co-host who decided to get off of Facebook and start calling you.
Yeah,
We
dude,
got
he
on
fucking drops
Facebook.
Facebook. He's like, you guys know that phone calls are a thing? I'm like, dude, fuck off. Like,
I
get out of
forgot
here.
about them. They're kind of fun.
So, but I called you the other night. Remember? Like
Yeah, it was
I was like,
great.
fuck it. I was like texting you and you weren't getting back, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck him. I'm calling him.
Yeah,
You know what I
call
mean?
me.
Like,
Yeah.
but anyways, you guys are amazing. Go check out our Patreon. Don't kill yourself. Love yourself.
Watch John Evernall's movies.
Watch John
Yes.
Evernall's movies. Eat Turkish food.
Turkish food is so good.
It's so good. It's
Watch
so
Hassan Piker.
listen to last podcast. You like how I just called last podcast on the
The
left?
New Bomb Turks. Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And take care of yourselves. And we will see you again soon. And until we see you again, please start some fires and break some glass. Take care of yourself. Peace. War.
I'm a fucking mess. You're still fine when I'll get over this. You gotta live with it. There's no cure in empty fucking lot. What I'm afraid of is fucking hot. Better than all the trees that built a lot. No, you're not. I'm right on the edge. And it doesn't red. The word is red. Yeah, it's mad. Oh yeah, by the time it's here, they'll hate me. Yeah.